current influx of foreigners in Ghana's retail trade and concerns raised by the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Here's what I want to do. I want to look at what the association makes of this. Now, I'm joined over the telephone by GUTA President George Kwaku Ofori. Hello, George. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm well. George, we're looking into a future where even residency permit for ECOWAS citizens will be abolished. What's GUTA's view on this?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning to our listeners and your panelists also. Let me say that the fundamentals of ECOWAS, as we've been told, is about free movement of people, goods and services. And even with that, let me ask you whether if you are traveling from Ghana to Nigeria, let me ask you this question, if the borders are free or there are a lot of, blockages on the road. Yes, there are a lot of blockages on the road or barriers to the extent that if they are serious, this is an area that needs to be tackled because we are talking about intertrade. And if we are talking about intertrade via free movement of people, goods and services, then the bigger question that we need to be asking ourselves are the barriers which are still in place and our heads of state are looking on in concern without passing any comment at it, as if they've seen nothing wrong with that or with those barriers. It is a bother to us. It's a concern to us as Ghanaians. Again, if we are talking about the issue of ID cards or biometric ID cards to avoid maybe residency, so that when you go to any place, you can go and reside. Fine. We have our sovereign laws. Apart from the ECOWAS protocols, we at Ghana and all the 15 member countries as well have their sovereign laws. And our sovereign law supersedes that of the ECOWAS. And so with the influx of foreigners issue that we have been discussing all this while, what we are saying is that once our GIPC laws, where all the 15 member countries also have investment laws within their various countries, we are dealing with different investment laws within the sub-region. And so we suggested, or we even put it on air, that once we don't have a harmonized investment laws within the sub-region, it will be very difficult for one country to ask the other to bend its rules for the other to enjoy, whereas you have a similar laws that you are applying in your country. So once we don't have a harmonized or a common law, i.e. investment law within the sub-region, you can't come and tell Ghana that we should bend our Ghana investment promotions in Tarat for you to benefit from it. So until the ECOWAS heads of state comes out and say that we are now going to have one common investment law within the sub-region, then that will be okay. Aside that, it will be impossible for we as citizens of Ghana, even if the government and politicians accept that, we will not accept it because it's a sovereign law. They use the taxpayers' money for parliamentarians to come, for parliamentarians to enact those laws. So we will not sit down, bend the rules, and then ask politicians and heads to come and tell us that because we are asking people to reside anywhere that they want without going through resident permit and work permit, we are talking about sovereign laws that must be accepted by all.
Here's what the future looks like, where we would go through our borders without any hassle or asked to only live in an ECOWAS member state for up to 90 days without proper visas. Now, the question I want an answer to is, could this be a threat to all the efforts you have put in fighting retail business, even those owned by citizens of ECOWAS or member states of ECOWAS? Could this be a threat to your businesses?
Not at all. Not at all. That is why I earlier said that once we have our sovereign law, i.e. the GIPC, which actually tells you that, and you see, the one thing that we have to get it clear is that GUTA is not against foreign investment. or foreign investors who are coming to invest in the country. Not at all. We are not against that. But what we are saying is that, I mean, the trading sector is something that we don't need, because if you are talking about investment, there are two major things that comes into play. One
all right.
One has to do with capital injection.
So George.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, we've had our GIPC investment laws, yet you were up in arms about how people were engaging in retail business, which is against those same laws. How sure are you that when we finally abolish residency requirements, we wouldn't see even worse of what we are seeing now?
That's what I'm saying. That you see, when we talk about investment is all about capital injection and transfer of technology. So we expect that if you are a real investor, these are the two major issues that you have to come in with. But trading doesn't need any technology before you come in to do it. That is why the law states that it is 100% reserved for Ghanaians, and for that matter, don't go to that area. You see, what we are saying is because, let me give you an example. For instance, within the ECOWAS sub-region that we are talking about, that our leaders are even going to discuss the issue of residency and others. You know that under the ECOWAS protocol, we still have the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, that is the ETLS, which allows the 15-member countries within the sub-region to export their finished products to any country of their choice, i.e., Akosombo Textiles can export their products to Cote d'Ivoire, to Burkina Faso, to Mali, to the Gambia, to Nigeria, and to any other country of their choice within the sub-region. You know, Nigeria alone is telling you and I that you cannot bring or export about 29 items of wood textiles, pharmaceutical products, poultry products, mineral water, furniture products, and the likes. You can't send these items to Nigeria. So Nigeria is telling Ghanaians, and for that matter, the other West African countries, that they are smarter than the other countries, and for that matter, they are
sounds as though you're not optimistic of this happening.
Well, it won't happen. It won't happen because once the law has actually come out with it, that if you are a foreigner, you are not entitled to go there, irrespective of your residency. The law is saying that you are not a Ghanaian. You are not a Ghanaian. So you cannot go to that particular sector that the law stipulates. That's it.
I see. But it would have been very helpful if we are able to abolish residency requirements, at least for you as traders.
Come again?
It would have been very helpful if we are able to abolish residency requirements, especially for you traders.
Well, you know, ECOWAS came long time ago, and some of their objectives were even the currency eco marine, eco air. But let's ask ourselves, about so many years that the ECOWAS was formed, have we seen some of these things in operation? So these are some of the things that we need to be asking ourselves, and then be asking our heads of state that whenever they meet, what actually did they discuss? Because these things have been on the timetable or the drawing board for so many years. Have we achieved anything as a result of the ECOWAS existence? And so these are some of the questions that we need to be asking our heads of state anytime that they meet, to come and tell us that for so long a time, all these issues that I've already discussed with you or I've already mentioned, eco marine, eco air, eco the money eco itself, has not come into fruition. So if they are talking about residency, fine. But for us, if you can be a resident. I mean, in Ghana, you are a Ghanaian. But if you break the country's laws, you will be brought to book.
Here for now, George.
Yes, thank you very much.
George Kweku Ofori is president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Now,